And that's how diet culture survives, because you're scared. And I was there as well. And that is why I hung on for so long. For 25 years, I dieted. And again, diet culture just feeds on our fear. It feeds on us being afraid to gain weight, afraid that we don't know how to eat, and afraid that we'll be, ostracized for being heavier than we want to be. So all those negative things come pop right on you. So I understand. I understand what you're saying. And this is how you have to handle it. This is how I handled it and got through this. You have to say to yourself, it makes zero sense at all that I was born with an inability to know what, when, and how much to eat. Animals all know. I know too. But all my brainwashing diet culture that I've ingested over so many years, for me, I'm not sure for you how many years, but for certainly all of us, so much, all that I have to shut that off. I have to say to myself, let's be smart here. This isn't working. And me fearing my own body's inability to navigate through eating, it doesn't make any sense. That's silly. But again, when things don't make sense, follow the money. And diet culture has done a bang up job of making us think that we can't trust ourselves. So you're afraid to leap into intuitive eating. I should not say leap. I should say ease into intuitive eating, because you're afraid you're going to gain weight and you're worried about the number on the scale. Well, that will keep you in diet culture. That fear will keep you there, because what that does is make you focus on a number on the floor, on the scale, that isn't reliable day to day, by the way, and that takes you away from the reason to eat or not eat, which is, of course, are you hungry? And I know it's a big step. I remember the day that I got rid of my scale, and my hands are sweating right now thinking about it, because it was such a traumatic thing, because I loved my scale. I thought it was helping me. And I'm like, how could all these people be wrong and weighing yourself all the time? That's what the thin people do, right? No, that's what the obsessed people do. What naturally thin people do, and if the word thin bugs you, don't let it. It's just the naturally lean, whatever word you want to put in there. They don't weigh themselves like that. And in the olden days, before all this diet culture stuff, people didn't weigh themselves like we do now. It is not hooked to being thin. It's hooked to being obsessed and fearful, right? So what happens when you stop being obsessed with that number, you realize, okay, there is nowhere to look, nowhere to hide. If I eat this now, I'm not going to know how much do I weigh the next day. How bad was it? How bad am I? You're going to have to say, I can't do that. So all I can do is say, am I hungry? Am I hungry? That's your decision point. It's not that number. And the irony, the beautiful irony, is that when you disconnect from fear of that number, your body calms down and you lose weight easily. Now I'm gonna say easily, I mean in harmony. I don't want anyone to think that you just become an intuitive eater and weight falls off. It melts slowly, because if it falls off fast, it's going to come back. We're in the business here as intuitive eaters. When I say business, I mean we're in the mindset here of calm weight loss that does not freak your beautiful body out. And if you want it quick, go somewhere else, because it's not going to be quick, but it's going to be permanent. And think about the difference between having weight loss permanent versus quick. I mean, quick. Is that better than permanent? But we think it is, again, because diet culture slams these messages at us. Lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Really? No. That's not going to work. When you lose weight as an intuitive eater, you stop thinking about the weight loss and you start thinking about being connected with your body, responding to your body. And the weight loss is a side effect. I mean, it's one you want. I mean, I know I did. It's over there. For me, and I know this question will come up, how much weight did you lose? Over my life as a dieter, I lost way over 100 pounds as a dieter, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's the same 10, 15, 17, 18 pounds I kept losing up and down, and my weight slowly creeping up. So I didn't come to intuitive eating and drop 50 pounds. I'm ever going to lie, but the mindset is the same. I finally got off that weight that I wanted, that last 10, 15 pounds, gone permanently, instead of me thinking about that number just as you are and being fearful. I gave up. I couldn't be fearful anymore because it wasn't working. And I was a dieter for 25 years. I mean, I tried for a very long time, and that number freaked me out for a long time. And the thought of not having that number, knowing my number, was like, if I went on a vacation, and there may not be a scale, I'm going to know how I'm doing. Well, turns out when you don't know how you're doing, again, I'm going to say it again, you have to rely on your body going, well, you are hungry right now, so maybe you should have some food. Yeah. Or, you're not hungry right now. Can you just delay eating until that hunger that is so fun to satisfy comes back? And when you stop traumatizing your body with these quick fix schemes, they are schemes, my friends. When you stop doing that, your body, everything just changes. Everything calms down. It is not instant. It is instantly more joyful, however, I will say. Being a dieter is a misery. It is a misery. And I think it's underestimated how damaging the diet mentality is to your happiness. So even let's say you're a dieter and you're at your happy weight. Let's just pretend that happens for any length of time, because it really doesn't. When you hit your goal weight, you go off your diet and you pop right back up. You know it. But let's just pretend you're there, but you're obsessed and it's really hard and you're always worried and you're worried about the number. Okay, so there you are. Here you are over here as an intuitive eater. You feel good, you're calm, you feel more powerful. You're not the victim of a party. Oh, there's food, and someone doesn't bring in a cake, and you go, oh, everything changes. So you're this calm, happy person, calmly losing weight to get to where you can easily be the rest of your life. It's not hard. This person over here, this dieter who's temporarily okay for 5 minutes at their happy weight, that's a stress fest. And we all know, every doctor, every scientist, everyone agrees stress is bad for us. So are you going to be this person? Or are you going to go, I've wised up here. And it took me a long time. So when I say wised up, I'm not insulting anybody. It took me a long time to wise up. But I finally, I did. In the year 2000, so it's been a long time. I went, okay, I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to be that nervous person who's constantly worrying about the scale. I'm over here thinking, what wonderful way am I going to experience hunger today and then satisfy it with something I love? It's fun. You eat less because you realize that you don't need the food that you thought you did, and your body is no longer sending you binges. Binging is completely gone, and I used to completely binge eat, especially, good all week, bad all weekend. That kind of negativity is gone, and it's not hard. It's not willpower. It's because your body is no longer triggering you to binge because you aren't triggering it with diet behavior. Long answer, but I promise you get your head around this. And there's I haven't said this lately, there's help online, and if you cannot afford our inexpensive online course, email me, okay? And people generally, I think, do not take advantage of me and just lie about that, which I appreciate. But if you truly can't, email me, okay? It's Intuitive Eating with Meg, right? So you can do it. Join me in this happy land.